The Endless Flight, narrated and written by Delwa Hussain. I don't remember boarding the plane. None of us do. My earliest memory is of pressing my face against the oval window, my breath fogging the glass as I tried to see past the endless white of the clouds. I remember tugging at my mother's sleeve, asking where were we going. She smiled softly, as though she's been asked 100 times before, and simply said, "This is our home, this is where we live." And so I grew up here, between rows of worn-out seats, chasing friends down narrow aisles, learning my letters in classrooms built from repurposed cabins. The engines hummed like a lullaby every night, a sound so constant it became the rhythm of my life. As I grew older, life filled with routine, jobs, responsibilities. I worked in the hydroponics bay for a time, tending neat rows of glowing plants under artificial lights. Later, I joined maintenance, crawling through shafts and ducts, patching systems older than anyone alive. It was honest work, and it kept the air flowing. It was there, in those cramped shafts, that I first met her. Her name was Leela. She was an oxygen tech, with grease-stained hands and a laugh that echoed through the metal corridors. We shared shifts, stories, dreams, and before long, we shared something more. We married in the back rows of economy, aisles strung with plastic flowers from the gardens, our friends clapping along to a song that played on someone's old headset. I'll never forget the way she looked at me then, her eyes brighter than any star I'd ever seen outside the window. For a while, life was full. We built a home in one of the converted cabins, raised 2 children who learned to walk, clinging to armrests, just as I once had. We saved our credits, worked extra shifts, and eventually moved our family up a few rows closer to business class. It felt like progress, it felt like purpose. But always, the question lingered. On long nights, after the children were asleep, I'd lie awake beside Leela and whisper, "Where are we going? Why does the view never change?" She would smile sadly, run her fingers through my hair and say, "Don't ask, love. We have everything we need right here. Don't spoil it." So I tried not to ask. I threw myself into work, into family, into distractions. We watched movies on the headrest screens, celebrated the festivals of the eternal flight, laughed, cried, lived. Years slipped by. But then came the day when Leela fell ill. No one knew why. The doctors did what they could, but there are limits to what the plane can provide. I sat by her side in those final days, holding her hand, listening to the hum of the engines fill the silence between us. Her last words to me were barely a whisper. "Promise me you'll keep asking, even if I couldn't." And then she was gone. Her seat was empty. Now, in the quiet of old age, I sit by the window more often. I watch my children live the same lives we did, working, saving, chasing upgrades, distracting themselves from the silence outside. I see joy in them, and sorrow too, and I wonder if they, like me, feel the pull of that question we've all been taught to ignore. Because the truth is, no matter how many rows we climb, no matter how soft the seat or how fine the meal, the flight continues. The view does not change, and the sealed cockpit door remains cold and silent at the front of the plane. Perhaps there is a pilot guiding us to a destination. Perhaps it's been empty all along. Perhaps the destination is not the point at all. But I know this, my time is nearly up. My flight is coming to an end. And when it does, it will not matter what seat I was sat in, or how much I earned, or how many distractions filled my days. What will matter is that I looked out the window, even once, and dared to wonder, where did this flight begin? Where is this flight going?